upwards from the soles of the feet, downwards from the tips of the hair on the head. Within the skin surface is what is called soul. Please continue watching to find out more.
One of the oldest religions in the world is Jainism, traditionally known as Jain Dharma. Originating from ancient India, this philosophy centers around concepts such as right perception, right knowledge, and right conduct in the attainment of moksha, or realization of the soul's true nature. The concept of ahimsa or non-violence is of equally great importance. Thus, with compassion for all life, practitioners of Jainism follow a pure vegetarian or vegan diet. Jains follow the ancient wisdom of the 24 Tirthankaras or prophets, whose teachings comprise the Agam Sutras, the religion's holy scriptures. Lord Mahavira, who is considered to be the last Tirthankara, was born around the 5th to 6th century BC as a prince of the ancient kingdom of Vaishali. He later forsook his royal status to pursue the spiritual path. After attaining Kevala Jnana, or all-knowing intuitive vision, he spent the rest of his life giving discourses on spiritual truths which form the present-day tenets of Jainism. Supreme Master Chinghai has spoken about Lord Mahavira as during this lecture in Taiwan, also known as Formosa, on June 23, 2019.
I don't know if anyone in the history of mankind could have done or could be doing or will be doing such a asceticism, such a sacrifice like the Lord Mahavira. Okay? That's why I want to read it to you. His heart was filled with equanimity and compassion. His face beamed with a spontaneous smile. Why does he feel compassion after he had this power? Because he can feel what the humans or beings around him or in the world feel. You know, their sorrow, their pain, their frustration, their troubles, their helplessness, their suffering. That's why he has compassion for them.
We present to you today excerpts from Book 2, Lecture 1, from Jainism's Sutrakritanga Sutra. Second book, first lecture, The Lotus. O long-lived Gambuswavan, I, Sudharman, have heard the following discourse from the Venerable Mahavira. We now come to the lecture called The Lotus. The contents of it are as follows. There is a lotus pool containing much water and mud, very full and complete, answering to the idea one has of a lotus pool, full of white lotuses, delightful, conspicuous, magnificent, and splendid. And everywhere all over the lotus pool there grew many white lotuses, the best of nymphaeas, water lilies, as we are told, in beautiful array, tall, brilliant, of fine color, smell, taste, and touch splendid. And in the very middle of this lotus pool, there grew one big white lotus, the best of nymphaeas, water lilies, as we are told, in an excellent position, tall, splendid. Now there came a man from the eastern quarter to the lotus pool, and standing on the bank of it, he saw that one big white lotus. Now this man spoke thus, I am a knowing, clever, well-informed, discerning, wise, not foolish man, who keeps the way, knows the way, and is acquainted with the direction and bent of the way. I shall fetch that white lotus, the best of all nymphaeas. Having said this, the man entered the lotus pool, and the more he proceeded, the more the water and the mud seemed to extend. He had left the shore, and he did not come up to the white lotus, the best of nymphaeas. He could not get back to this bank, nor to the opposite one, but in the middle of the lotus pool he stuck in the mud. This was the first man. Now we shall describe the second man. There came a man from the southern quarter to the lotus pool, and standing on the bank of it, he saw that one big white lotus. There he saw one man who had left the shore, but had not come up to the white lotus, the best of nymphaeas, who could not get back to his bank, nor to the opposite one, but stuck in the mud in the middle of the lotus pool. Now the second man spoke of the first man thus: This man is not knowing, not clever, not acquainted with the direction and bent of the way. For that man said, I am a knowing, I shall fetch that white lotus, the best of nymphaeas. But this white lotus, the best of nymphaeas, cannot be got in the way this man tried. However, I am a knowing, clever, he stuck in the mud. This was the second man. The same thing happened to a third and a fourth man who came from the western and northern quarters respectively, and saw 2 and 3 men respectively sticking in the mud. Now a monk living on low food and desiring to get to the shore of the samsara, knowing, clever, acquainted with the direction and bent of the way, came to that lotus pool from some one of the 4 quarters or from one of the intermediate points of the compass. Standing on the bank of the lotus pool, he saw the one big white lotus, and he saw there those 4 men who, having left the shore, stuck in the mud. Then the monk said, These men are not knowing, not acquainted with the direction and bent of the way. For these men thought, We shall fetch that white lotus, the best of nymphaeas. But this white lotus, the best of nymphaeas, cannot be got in the way these men tried. I am a monk living on low food, acquainted with the direction and bent of the way. I shall fetch that white lotus, the best of nymphaeas. Having said this, the monk did not enter the lotus pool, but standing on the bank of it, he raised his voice, Fly up, O white lotus, best of nymphaeas. And the white lotus, the best of nymphaeas, flew up. I have told you, O long-lived Sramanas, a simile. You must comprehend the meaning of it. The Nirgrantha monks and nuns worshipped and praised the venerable ascetic Mahavira, and then spoke thus: You have told, O long-lived Sramana, the simile, but we do not comprehend its meaning, O long-lived Sramana. The venerable ascetic Mahavira addressed the crowd of Nirgrantha monks and nuns and spoke thus: you long-lived Sramanas, I shall tell, declare, explain, expound, and demonstrate it with its meaning, reasons, and arguments. Thus I say, O long-lived Sramanas, meaning the world, I spoke of the lotus pool, meaning karma, I spoke of the water, meaning pleasures and amusements, I spoke of the mud, meaning people in general, I spoke of those many white lotuses, the best of nymphaeas, meaning the king, I spoke of the one big white lotus, the best of nymphaeas, meaning heretical teachers, I spoke of those 4 men, meaning the law, I spoke of the monk, meaning the church, I spoke of the bank, meaning the preaching of the law, I spoke of the monk's voice, meaning nirvana, I spoke of the lotus flying up, meaning these things, O long-lived Sramanas, I told this simile. Upwards from the soles of the feet, downwards from the tips of the hair on the head, within the skin's surface is what is called soul, or what is the same, the Atma. The whole soul lives. When this body is dead, it does not live. It lasts as long as the body lasts. It does not outlast the destruction of the body. With it, namely the body, ends life. Other men carry it, namely the corpse, away to burn it. When it has been consumed by fire, only dove-colored bones remain, and the four bearers return with the hearse to their village. Therefore, there is and exists no soul different from the body. Those who believe that there is and exists no such soul speak the truth. Those who maintain that the soul is something different from the body cannot tell whether the soul as separated from the body is long or small, whether globular or circular or triangular, or square or hexagonal or octagonal or long, whether black or blue or red or yellow or white, whether of sweet smell or of bad smell, whether bitter or pungent or astringent or sour or sweet, whether hard or soft or heavy or light or cold or hot or smooth or rough. Those therefore who believe that there is and exists no soul speak the truth. Those who maintain that the soul is something different from the body do not see the following objections. As a man draws a sword from the scabbard and shows it using, "Friend, this is the sword and that is the scabbard." So nobody can draw the soul from the body and show it using, "Friend, this is the soul and that is the body." As a man draws a fiber from a stalk of munga grass and shows it using, "Friend, this is the stalk and that is the fiber," or takes a bone out of the flesh or the seed of amulaka from the palm of his hand and shows you things separately, or as he presses oil from the seed of atasi and shows the oil and oil cake separately, or as he presses the juice from the sugar cane and shows the juice and the molasses separately, so nobody can show you the soul and the body separately. The same applies also when fire is churned from Arani wood. Those who believe that there is and exists no soul speak the truth. Those who say that the soul is different from the body are wrong. This murderer says, "Kill, dig, slay, burn, cook, cut or break to pieces, destroy. Life ends here. There is no world beyond." These Nastikas cannot inform you on the following points: whether an action is good or bad, meritorious or not, well done or not well done, whether one reaches perfection or not, whether one goes to hell or not. Thus, undertaking various works, they engage in various pleasures and amusements for their own enjoyment. Cheerful viewers, thank you for joining us for today's The Lotus, Jainism's Holy Sutrakritanga Sutra, Book 2, Lecture 1, Part 1 of 2, on Words of Wisdom.